The internet is a wild place. You can see great, amazing people doing great, amazing things. You can see scummy, nasty people, degenerates that want feet pictures from underage people or alleged underage people. You know, I've seen a lot of weird stuff over the years. I'm a pattern analyzer, and I'm pretty good at picking out when somebody's going to do something weird.
The sketch is about, like, how much money would you accept for various, like, acts? And the joke is, like, for $40, I would have somebody stick a toe in my ass. And then when he uploads it to the internet, the person that starred in it regrets it, and then the movie's a little bit about that.
And you actually did stick a toe in, seemingly, in an ass. I was like, wow, okay.
We had to, right?
Just because of the vibe I get from them. And one of those people, one of those groups, is a group of Let's Players from back in the early 2000s, in the early days of YouTube. And this all kind of centers around one person, Timothy Bishop, otherwise known as NintendoCapriSun. He also has other aliases on the internet. He does like a vlog channel. He does some streaming on Twitch and those types of places. What I want to focus on is kind of the degeneracy of the community that he is in and he supports. These types of people they're liberals. I mean, he's a confessed liberal. He does not like conservatives. He's said some pretty alarming things that I can't go into complete detail about. Suffice to say that he's made some weird comments about his sexual orientation, and he is clearly a interesting individual. You know, we have the fart jokes and the poop jokes. That's one thing. I mean, I get that. I laugh at that stuff all the time. I make jokes like that all the time. And most of the time it's usually to make my kids laugh. But this guy takes it to an entirely different level, like actually recording himself taking a shit on the toilet.
It puts them on the left side where it shows how many moons you've collected and how many you're going to turn in when you go back to the Odyssey. So I think, that's all a piece of poop just dripped off. I just felt it.
I don't think he ever released the video footage of this, but he released the audio recording of him taking a shit. My background with NintendoCapriSun is I was working a third shift job, brain dead work. I needed something to listen to while I did my job, and I was just typing on a computer, and we were allowed to use headphones and listen to music. And I was really into Ocarina of Time at the time, the Nintendo 64 game. So I went on YouTube and I just was looking for like a walkthrough or a long play, because those were popular back in the day, a long play. I had never heard of a Let's Play. I clicked on a NintendoCapriSun Let's Play, not knowing what it was, and then he started talking and there was commentary and he was playing the game. So I listened to him play the game as I was working, and it helped me pass the time at this really fucking brain-deadening job I had back then. That's how I was introduced to Let's Playing. I'd never heard of it before. This probably would have been like 2009 or 2010, something like that. And that's how I got introduced to Let's Playing. And I liked his style of humor. It was kind of like childish. He had a tiny bit of wholesomeness, I thought, at the time.
Yep. Yes. I'm not doing a 3-hard run or any of that crap. I'm just going to do a normal run and see what happens. So this is the introduction. The Guardian Spirit, the Deku Tree, also known as the Dick Tree.
And the longer I listened to him, the more kind of weird things happened. I subscribed to his vlog channel, Jealous Guy channel, and then there's like Breaking NCS, his live-in friend, roommate / whatever that situation was, I'm not going to make assumptions, was a guy named Impolo18, and they lived together in an apartment.
Howdy guys, Breaking NCS here, and what is this? This is what we call April 19th in Wisconsin, apparently. Alright, look at this. And Polo's footsteps, my footsteps. Yes, I did.
Found his hat. So
Yeah.
you lead the way.
Mother Nature says, you're not going to take your walk today. You know what I say to that? I say, suck my dick. Suck my motherfucking dick. Dick. Suck my dick. Yeah, you know. It is slippery. Yeah, jeez. Now, this ain't supposed to be happening, man. I don't know.
Just imagine these two goobers stomping around your apartment complex, hollering about who the hell knows what, in the middle of the night, vlogging, talking about the shit that they see in front of them. Just the obvious dumb shit like, wow, there's a pile of snow and there's a stair and it's cold out. And my fans really want to see this kind of crap. This is what 2011 was like, people. We didn't have a whole lot of content to look at. And they made Let's Plays together. They made Let's Play channels separate from each other. It was a fairly interesting dynamic, and they were kind of entertaining to listen to and watch. So that's the preface of how I even know who these people are. They were Let's Players, they were living together, and they had some quirky humor that I kind of thought was funny. Now, things started getting a little bit weird when, like we talked about, there's poop jokes all the time, and you're a grown-ass adult, and you're like recording yourself taking a shit, and then finding out that Timothy Bishop can't really have normal conversations with people. He's got a lot of social awkwardness that he probably needs therapy for. He would make these audio tapes, vlogs, or diaries. And he would reference these diaries and all these things that would happen to him and certain sexual situations. Some things were very odd to me. I started to get the heebie-jeebies, so I stopped wanting to listen to this type of content. But it's like slow motion. You can't turn your head away. I kept watching. And over the years of watching this guy and kind of categorizing him and his persona, it's kind of like when Geno Samuel did the Chris Chan documentary. I never put anything to paper or made a video about it, but I documented the things kind of in the vault of my brain. So over the years, Impolo18 and NintendoCapriSun started to branch out and do some collaborations. They went to conventions, or at least NintendoCapriSun went to conventions. He started meeting up with other creators, and he started to become fairly prominent. At this point, I think he's in the 400,000 subscriber range, but those numbers are largely dead subs. But in his heyday, he was doing fairly well for himself. You know, several of his videos posting over 1 million views, and a collaborative group of people behind him, the likes of which are Chugga Conroy, Proton John, and Luca Jin, and the names go on and on and on. He had a lot of people collaborating together, and times were good in the early 2000s into 2010. He was doing very good numbers. Then things started to get very, very interesting. And you have to start wondering, how many degrees of separation are you from a complete weirdo? There's a guy named Adam White. He's gone by Chibi, Shiny Aquina, and he's also gone by the name Chibi Necodemics. He is the dog collar guy.
Now, the story behind this pendant right here, my grandfather got it for me a few years ago when we were down in Florida. I've treasured it ever since. And I realized that whenever I took this off, I felt really faint, and I usually would lose consciousness. But the real reason why I always have this on and I never take it off is because of that. It's pretty much the source of my power. It's the source of my energy. I collect dark energy from the moon, and whenever there's a full moon out, it's hard to explain.
That could absorb energy from the moon, if you guys remember that. Yeah, that's the same guy that was featured on PewDiePie's video, where he was at the Game's Done Quick thing, and he was told to shut up.
He the cringe has gone too far. It needs to stop. He needs to do something.
Good joke.
Chibi is not picking up on any of the social cues that Caveman has been giving him to shut the fuck up.
So confirmed, Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
He ends up texting minors, allegedly, getting involved with minors, just falling off the face of the earth, gross behavior. Yeah, very strange, very strange. He tried to do a speedrunning career. He got busted for cheating.
All right, here we are. I like that jump. No way.
Lots of weird stuff going on with this guy. Yes, the degrees of separation are very slim. So, NintendoCapriSun at one time hosted Chibi Necodemic's Adam White in his house. And the whole thing was kind of set up, from what I understand, and the details are getting fuzzy as time passes. Chibi and Impolo were kind of online friends together, and Chibi wanted to hang out and kind of grift and rub elbows and get some clout from NintendoCapriSun. So he kind of conned his way into living for about a week in NintendoCapriSun's house. And I believe, and I say roommate, that Impolo 18 was a roommate, but I don't know if he was paying rent. I don't know. It's a very awkward situation when two grown men that are absolute slobs are living together, but that's what was going on. I don't know if he was paying. I don't know how he was paying, whatever. But now we have 3 grown men living in one house playing video games together, and they vlogged it. It's all probably lost to the sands of time. There might be some information left. So you've got a guy who will be a future predator, Chibi. You've got a guy who records himself shitting, and you've got a guy who's basically just like a college or a high school dropout, Impolo, who, I mean, he has like no aspirations in life. He lives with his mom. I'm pretty sure he still lives with his mom, and he records himself playing video games on his shitty Chromebook or something like that. So you've got 3 people that are kind of like low tier humans, okay? Like no aspirations, not trying to get a trade, not trying to advance their careers, not trying to learn a skill, not trying to go to college. They are just happy to play video games, work at a grocery store. You know, the sad part is the most responsible person here is the guy working at the grocery store, making minimum wage and playing video games on the internet, is the most responsible one out of this entire bunch. So the fallout was soon to come because Chibi got the money to go to this event and to be with them based on his fans or something like that. I don't know. It's so hard to even track down. The original channel is gone. I watched the vlogs from Chibi back in the day because I was like, well, what is this guy? Who is this guy? I got to figure this stuff out. So I believe, and I could be wrong, that he somehow got the money from his fans, because he had a fairly sizable YouTube channel at the time, to go and hang out with NintendoCapriSun and Impolo. He also was trying to get money to help get his girlfriend to come visit him or something. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but I even left a comment on his channel. I remember saying like, dude, you're a grown-ass adult. Take care of this yourself. We also didn't know at the time that he's like severely autistic and basically needs to be in a group home.
Not the worst, but not the best.
Are you swearing down here? What the F? This is gonna go off. It is, 1 o'clock. I want it off very soon.
Well, it won't be off until about another 2 hours from now, because I'm in the middle of a speed run.
You're starting this shit again, Adam. We talked about this crap. You being on it all night long.
It's only 1 o'clock. And this is the weekend.
I don't care.
Of course you don't. You don't care about anything.
No, I don't care. Okay? We talked about this shit, about you being on it all night long.
I'm not being on it
I
all
don't
night
care if it's a
long.
weekend or not. It doesn't matter. Every day runs together for you.
No, actually it doesn't.
Adam? It's not happening. Why do you keep insisting on it?
And what she says, what his mom says is, it's not happening. Why you keep insisting on it? And I think she's referring to him making the big time, you know, breaking into the big YouTubers, the big speedrunners, that kind of thing. She's saying, you're not going to be famous. Just stop. She's so fed up with it. So he lost a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers, because people found out that he was grifting, and the most responsible person in the room is the guy working at a grocery store, NintendoCapriSun, who is allowing this chaos into his life. Super weird, alternative lifestyle individual. Okay, we'll put a pin in that. That's that for now. The next thing that I want to talk about is we got to fast forward a little bit. So at the time, NintendoCapriSun is a big fat man. He is smoking cigarettes, or he has just quit smoking cigarettes. I don't know. He used to go back and forth smoking cigarettes based on his old vlogs. And he's like working third shift, making donuts at a grocery store. It's a rough existence, and I've been there. That is an entry-level position, and when I was in college, I did the exact same crap. I didn't smoke cigarettes, though. I saved my money. I saved every penny I had so that I could get out of that shitty situation. NintendoCapriSun is just grinding away, doing anything besides playing video games, and he's building a fairly sizable subscribership. I think that was really his Hail Mary in life, was I have to make it somehow. I'm not going to get a real job, so I'm just going to, make it happen on the internet. And I will say good on him, because he did work a real job for a long time. Once he got to the point where he could quit that job, he quit it and started doing YouTube full time. This is about the time period where we start to see the collaborations start taking on a new form. So he starts hanging out with Chugga Conroy a lot, this character called Luca Jin. She's a female, and he falls hard for Luca Jin because she's a girl, right? Girl playing video games. Oh my God. She's also kind of a vlogger, I think.
Sorry. I gotta get that couple. It's so cute. Wow. Yeah. I'm just a softy like that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. You didn't have to.
Oh, no. I definitely had to see you off.
Oh, well. That's cool.
So, NintendoCapriSun is falling head over heels for this girl, and he decides to go on a weight loss journey. So, and during this time period, I was actually very happy for him, because he was going to the gym, working hard, trying to lose weight, and he lost a ton of weight. But the thing about NintendoCapriSun is he is not a traditionally attractive man. He is fairly short. He is a fairly heavy build naturally, and he was never going to be a hard body individual. Now, not that Luca Jin was some catch, as she has her problems too, but remember, we're also dealing with extremely liberal individuals. Wokies, if you will. So, NintendoCapriSun, off air, tries to woo Luca Jin. Okay? He tries to make her his girlfriend. But it sounds like she turned him down hard, because in some of his videos, he lets slip, and I say let slip, but you got to understand something about NintendoCapriSun. He is the type of man who has not been laid, he has not been kissed, he has barely talked to women, where he makes up these fantasies in his mind. I know we all used to do it. I used to do it before I got my first girlfriend. It's like, you think about what it's going to be like. You think about who they're going to be like. And you think about how people are going to think of you, and how cool you're going to think the people are going to think you are, because I've got a girlfriend. This is middle school talk, right? But you have to understand that Timothy Bishop has not matured past a middle school mindset. He is still in a middle school mindset. So he thinks he can do little things like drumming on a desk and impressing a girl. If he drums in perfect timing to a certain song that only he obscurely remembers and thinks about, where he remembers a song lyric perfectly and does a little ditty, sings it in front of her, and all these little things that he thinks women are paying attention to, he thinks are going to help him in his chances of getting a girlfriend. So I'm sure he tried this stuff with Luca Jin, and she was just like, yo, dog, what the fuck you doing? Leave me alone. I'm sure that's what she thought, because this awkward older man who is not attractive, who has no prospects in life besides a little bit of scratch coming in from YouTube, she's looking at this guy and she's like, oh, wow, that's weird. I'm not all about that lifestyle. So you can see a steep downturn from a man who was at his peak, working hard to lose weight and to do something better for himself. And then you see the crushing defeat of being shut down by this Luca Jin girl. And he starts gaining all the weight back. And he starts basically kind of subtly saying things, manipulatively saying things in his videos where he's like, well, that's not going to happen, or these things are not going to happen. And he basically made it clear that that relationship is not going to progress.
Hi. Charles Guy here, also known as Breaking NCS, also known as NintendoCapriSun. I have so many names, it's just unreal. I hope you don't mind me calling myself Jealous Guy again. I just kind of feel like, you know, well, I mean, these days I don't have any reason to call myself that anymore, because I'm not jealous anymore, you know, of the rest of the world, like I was before. And sure, it shouldn't be. I shouldn't have been before, to tell you the truth, but...
She just wants to be friends. Permanently friend zoned. And you know what you do in those situations? You move on. Because it's not a valuable use of your time to pursue a female that doesn't want to be with you. That's something you learn in middle school. You get your heart broken, you pick yourself up, and you move on. But like I said, he has a middle school mindset. He doesn't think of things like an adult does. So he kind of gives up and he wallows in his self-pity. And he hangs out with weird people. And he, you know, this is his behavior. And he's kind of trapped in this bubble of weird YouTubers, very odd woke people that are kind of sexually degenerate. Now stuff kind of starts popping off. Luca Jin ends up hanging out with Proton John, another YouTuber streamer. I don't know much about Proton John. I never watched him. I felt like he was very dry, boring, snarky, stupid, just quippy type of stuff. He just didn't seem happy about anything. He didn't seem happy about being able to work a full-time job in content creation. It did not seem like he really liked what he was doing. So if somebody doesn't like what they're doing, why are you going to watch it? And I could say that about me. I mean, if I like what I do, you might not think I'm good at it, but I do like doing this type of thing. And I don't do it for money because, I mean, I think money will just make any problem worse if you're just trying to be creative. If you're trying to be creative, then just be creative. You know, just do that. It's fun. It's fun. I don't care if this makes any money. So Luca Jin starts hanging out with this Proton guy, and I think NintendoCapriSun gets a little jealous. You know, that's what he wanted to be, his slam piece, and she is now hanging out with Proton John. The thing about Proton John is he's a very troubled human. Okay, and like I said before, I picked up on that when I was watching him in those early days. He seemed unhappy, and so. Well, guess what happens when you're a wokey lefty with no morals, ethics, or God? You turn to things that are disgusting, weird, and degenerate. He became a transsexual. You heard me right. Proton John is now a female. He transitioned to a girl by having really ugly, stringy hair. Okay, I can't. Okay. I gotta cut that. I'm cutting that out. Proton John is now a female in the eyes of the Wokies, and Luca Jin has fallen head over heels for this. So they get married. So Luca Jin marries a trans woman, and now that's gotta hurt, man. That's really gotta hurt. If you're NintendoCapriSun, you're just like, yo, like I got a dick. Like I got dick. Why would you want that? You know, like, yeah, she falls for him. All right. And I guess I didn't mention, but in Polo 18, that whole saga, that kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Polo moved out. NintendoCapriSun moved to, I think, somewhere in Ohio, in a super conservative area. So he's miserable, right? You know, he doesn't want to live in a conservative state, a conservative area. So he's miserable. And Polo stays in Wisconsin. I didn't mention that. I think he lives with his mama, and he's doing like part-time, like working at a grocery store type of stuff. So then we start getting these other characters into the game. And then there's a guy named like Poltergust 5000.
Hello. It's the Poltergust 5000. And,
Look how foggy it is.
This dude, I've had some chats with him. I've tried to like say, hey, dog, like it's not working. Stop. Like this YouTube grind is not working for you. But I'm pretty sure they met on like some type of like a speed run, because speed running is a big deal. And I like speed running too. I like randomizers, taking old games and shuffling up all the items, and you have to like figure out how to beat the game. I love that kind of stuff. And I love speed running. But yeah, those guys met up on a speed run, and now they're like kind of doing collabs together. And this guy Poulter starts doing all of his thumbnails. So I subscribe to Poulter, and I'm like, yo, dog, I kind of like your content. You're kind of quirky. You're kind of weird. What's up?
Oh my, dude, no. Oh my god, is that what I think it is? Guys. Holy shit, Yakio. Oh my god. Dude. And next to it, if this is what I think it is, oh my god. Oh. It is. Holy shit. Oh my god, dude. Dude. It's an Elgato game capture. Oh my god. I'm gonna pop some bubbles, just get some. Bring the manliness back. Oh, that's probably like really, really, really fucking loud. Holy shit. I wish I could cry, you know? Because I feel like I want to, but it's not happening. But, oh my gosh, dude. Dude, like, I don't know what... I don't know what me or anybody else could possibly do to deserve a fan like you, Yakio. Zach. Zach is your name. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Well, whatever. I hope that thing is still capturing. That'd be pretty stupid if it wasn't. Oh my gosh, I cannot fucking believe it. An Elgato Game Capture HD. You know, I thought that, like, it was going to be either or. I thought that it was going to be either a Game Capture HD or a Nintendo Switch. And this fucking shit is both. It's fucking both. Like, I've been having a really shitty day today. I got a letter that, like, I should have gotten a month ago if I had any say in the matter. Like, and that was causing me to, I was, like, hyperventilating because it was so stressful. But this just, like, oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Holy shit. Let's do the unboxing. Get some more toilet paper.
And he's, but it's just a little weird, like a little offbeat. That little thing triggered in my head again. And I'm like, yo, why is this guy so weird? What's going on here? I'm trying to figure out what this dude's all about. So I start watching him for a little bit, and Poulter is another one of those awkward cases. Clearly fairly intelligent, like probably high IQ, but autistic and incapable of having normal conversations. I think he's got like a lot of social awkwardness. But this guy is living with his mom, and I don't know if he has a job or was trying to get a job, but just trying to get a job like a Canadian kid does. I don't know how you people survive in Canada. It's a fucking nightmare. Everything costs so much, and everyone has such high expectations of what needs done, but no one has any work ethic. Like, you people are perma-fucked. I'm sorry. You just gave yourself hard mode for no reason. So this kid that's collaborating with NintendoCapriSun is kind of a weirdo. He's living in a moldy basement in his mom's basement, trying to make YouTube videos, trying to be a Let's Player, trying to break into the big time. And I just kind of started getting in the comment section with him. I'm like, dog, like, you're working so many hours on this. Why don't you just get a job? If you're working this hard on YouTube that pays $0, like, you can't even break the threshold for monetization. And I'm like, dude, my monetization channels, I don't even try and they break monetization. The Elect Chicken channel, it's monetizable. I don't have it monetized because it, like, what the fuck does it matter? I'm going to make 5 pennies. It just adds problems when you start monetizing shit that is just your fun little dumb shit you do. Poulter, dude, like, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to, like, as a bro, I don't think this is working out. You should probably just get a job and then do this for fun like I do. I do YouTube for fun. I mean, some of my channels make money, but this channel doesn't. This is just for fun. So I'm like, dog, I don't think he has a positive male influence in his life. He's got like a lefty mom and a dad that I don't know anything about. And he's just like heavy and long haired and everything is just, he just sounds miserable in his life. And I'm like, hey, trying to help him out, trying to be a mentor, trying to like, hey, yo, you can do this. You can man up. You can get a job. You can cast out all this childish shit and move on. And he just flat out was like, no, I don't want to do that. So Impolo is gone, kind of the same archetype. And this guy is kind of the same archetype as well, except he's got a little bit of talent. He does like artwork and stuff like that. But Poulter's kind of the same archetype, like big, overweight loser that just wants to do YouTube and live in mom's basement. So you got to understand there's types of people that surround themselves around NintendoCapriSun. There's like the absolute loser, and then there's the absolute degenerate. Those are the people that you're kind of dealing with when you deal with NintendoCapriSun. I also kind of think that Poulter's kind of degenerate too. He kind of says some weird things and acts weird ways. And he was talking about an online relationship like that's something. Like, dude, online relationships ain't shit. Just because you talk to a girl on the internet and she says you're going steady, that ain't nothing, man. But that being said, he's a very young individual that is getting older. And that happens to everyone. And if time doesn't change you and the words of somebody who's wiser than you don't change you, then you're just doomed to continue your existence. So that's done. We're done talking about Poulter. I think he still does thumbnails for NintendoCapriSun every once in a while. They're just whatever. Like, actually, I will say one more thing. He did a video that made me laugh so hard. He's talking about being a consultant for other YouTubers to help them in their YouTube journey. And I was looking at his channel and I'm like, at the time he had like 400 subs. And I'm like, dude, you have no subs. You get no views. I could refresh the page and increase your view count because you get no views. All right. I can't beat up on him because he's a sensitive boy. So that's that. That chapter is closed. So we've got the degenerate that's now a transsexual. We've got a woman that wants to date a transsexual and marry a transsexual. And that's cool, whatever, push that aside. And now we're on to one of the main events. The big one, Chugga Conroy. Now, Chugga is a big guy, big channel. He is absolutely one of the most popular Let's Players of all time. He used to make really good money. His views have gone down over the years for many reasons, but one specifically because he had a girlfriend, a real girlfriend, and he had a house, and he had a big channel, and he had a career going for him. But he decided to ask for feet pics from another girl. Yeah, feet pics. He's a foot guy. Are we getting the full fucking picture here? Everybody in this circle is a loser degenerate, okay? It's not a coincidence where all the dominoes fall and they all end up in the same place. If you are a loser degenerate, you're going to be around other loser degenerates, right? Chugga goes on some sabbatical where he has to separate himself from YouTube, reinvigorate his thirst for life, and he's depressed because he asked for feet pics. So I'm guessing he lost his girlfriend, his real girlfriend, for this foot girlfriend. And he was, here's the fucked up thing is I think he was sending her shoes, if I remember correctly. He was sending this online girl shoes so she could put them on and take pictures of her feet. Oh, God. Like, what is wrong? Like, why can't you just have a normal kink? I just like big boobs, a pretty face, a nice ass, and like not too fat and a high credit score. Like I've got pretty low standards, man. I like big boobs, a pretty face, and a good credit score. Come on, boy. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I want your dirty feet. Ooh, I bet they smell. Like, woo wee, your feet stink. But yeah, so Chugga's a feet guy. And guess who Chugga Conroy has collaborated with over the years? Yep, Gerard, the charity money stealing jihadist, as I referred to in one of my videos quite a while ago. But we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. That's for a different video. A lot of YouTubers are just fucking gross human beings. And don't get me wrong, I'm a gross person too. Like, I've done some fucked up stuff, but I don't put it on the internet. And I don't make all my dirty laundry public. We all have fucked up things we've done. We all have gross stuff in our past. The main thing that drives me to make these types of videos is, what are the people doing? Are they trying to better themselves? Are they trying to move on from this? They have a cult of personality around themselves. They get people that defend them for their weird shit. I mean, I remember saying in the comment section with NintendoCapriSun, like, dude, get your shit together. And all the fallout, man, the negative comments, kill yourself, this, that, and the other. Like, people came after me. It's every community. If you have anybody that has a fairly large community of just diehards and you say anything negative about them, you're going to get absolutely roasted in the comment section. It's the same thing with the Red Cow crew. Same thing. You say something bad about them, but they're degenerates too, you know? Frankie put a toe in his wife's ass for that video he made that made no money. And they feed their friend to death disgusting food and film it, and he's sweating and he's profusely red-faced. You know, all these things. You have to be extremely careful about people on the internet. They're all pretty gross. And if they start turning away from God, or they were never following God in the first place, they're probably going to lead you down the wrong path. And this isn't to do a deep dive and to categorize every little detail in an autistic way like Geno Samuel can, because I can't do anything like that. I don't have that level of brain power. I cannot remember all the details. I cannot give you all those details. That's not who I am. I can give you a broad scope, and I can say, this is my thought about it, and this is what you should do. But many of these people, like Timothy Bishop, were Christians at one point. He used to go to church with his family. His family fell apart because of divorce, and they all went off in their own way. His dad is dead now. His mom is dead now. He has a sister, and he's made some weird comments about his sister's kids. Things that made me feel a little uneasy. You know, you have a religious family that falls apart, and the reason they fall apart is that they didn't follow the word. Because if you follow the word, it brings people together. It brings people together for a common goal, to be wholesome people, to be good people, to help other people, and to make videos like this. And I understand that this can seem like a troll. You can think that I'm just here to make fun of people. And don't get me wrong, I'm a sinner. I laughed at people that I just talked about. I laughed about them in this exact video, in this recording. I can scroll back in Audacity and see the part where my peaks are really high. And I know I laughed at them at that point. My goal is to shed light on topics like this, because it is a slippery slope to the point where you are doing the work of the devil versus doing the work of the Lord. And if you are struggling in life, I will say this. My testimony, and I won't go into the full thing, but my testimony is, when I let the Lord in with my full heart, everything in my life changed for the better, because I was a terrible person. I was a degenerate. I was doing dumb stuff. I was on the verge of defeat. I was on the verge of the abyss, and I let him in my life. And I've got a lot of work to do. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to cuss anymore. You know, I don't want to be gross. I don't want to make these videos anymore because these videos bring you down. But in order to help people, sometimes you have to learn what the scum looks like. You have to slog through the scum. You have to do the backstroke through the bullshit. But my hope is that when we look at the people in these communities, we can see what they've done wrong. We can pray for them, and we can help others that are going down that same path. Because these cults of personality tend to all have the same outcome. They all tend to crater in the same manner. It hurts. It hurts to see people you like go down the wrong path. And when you try to reach out, you try to evangelize, or whatever that term is in the secular world, you know, whatever you people that are non-religious think helping means. I think you can be moral and still not have a God in your life, but you still fill that God-shaped hole with something. What do you do on Sunday instead of going to church? And it's hard to change somebody's mind who doesn't like church and doesn't want to go to a church and doesn't like God and just believes that we're all just on this rock for random chance. You can't break down the barriers for somebody on your own. They have to experience it themselves firsthand. If it's God's will to let them change, then it will happen. But if not, it won't. But now I'm starting to ramble. But this all wraps around to the same story of degenerates and people not following the Lord and not having a good outlook and a good goal to work towards, because they're focusing on this world and collecting games and collecting subscribers and money and things like that. And the outcome is all the same. NintendoCapriSun is going to end up homeless. He's now living with Chugga Conroy. I didn't get to mention that. So he lives with Chugga Conroy. The degenerate is living with the degenerate. And their ecosystem is full of degenerates. And they all hang out together at conventions and record videos of each other and put them on the internet so they can, you know, make some money off of their dwindling viewership, who is millennials that are aging out of this type of content. Timothy Bishop is going to end up homeless if he keeps this up, because I don't think he wants to go back to work. He doesn't have the stomach for going back to work. He just wants to cash the check, you know, live off of this fame until he's dead. And my heart weeps for him, because I think at one time he had the opportunity to be a wholesome individual. Those days are gone unless he can repent and ask for the Lord's forgiveness. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. Take care. Stay wholesome. Keep praying. I mean, God, we need to pray. We definitely need to pray for everything. For every little thing. And I'll end the video with the thing I pray about every single day. And you might think this is arrogant, but I don't really care. This is what I pray for every single day. I say, God, give me the strength to complete every task that I need to complete. Pour onto me the responsibility that you want me to endure. Give me the strength to endure everything you want me to endure. Don't let me fail. Let me carry on the legacy of a Christian man and be a good influence on all those around me. That's my prayer every day. So I hope you all have a good one. Take care.